In my last video, I said Obsidian doesn't work for teams, so I replaced it with Brilliant, a new open source AI first knowledge base. I'm going to show you how to get that set up in less than 10 minutes today. And before I do that though, I want to mention to you that I got a bunch of calls, messages, and comments on the last video that we put out. And I want to say I really appreciate all the love. It looks like a lot of you are looking for this exact solution. Shout out to Eric in England and also Frederick over there in Belgium. Thanks for calling in. And you guys have some really cool projects. Looking forward to seeing how they pan out. GitHub is also looking very busy. We've got over 2,000 downloads in the last 14 days. Really enjoying to see that. And also, just a quick disclaimer. I know some of you may be thinking, well, Jeremy, do you not like Obsidian? I love Obsidian. I've been using it for years. And this is just the next evolution in working for teams. I do think Obsidian's great for a personal knowledge base. Just want to make sure we're all there on that. And stick around to the very end. I've got this cool new feature I've been working on. I've been trying to get it ready for this video, and I think you're really going to like it. Now, let me give you some quick context here to let you know what you're going to be setting up. Brilliant is that open source AI native knowledge-based system which lives in the cloud. So you and your team can all connect to it with permissions, with governance, all those things that we really wish that Obsidian had, but the architecture of it just doesn't provide. Also, I've set up a new system here or new plugin that allows us to actually import your existing vault into it. So if you've already been using Obsidian and you don't want to lose that knowledge base that you've already been building, this allows us to go ahead and import that in and get going from day one. Let's go ahead and get it set up. All right, so we're going to be deploying Brilliant in under 10 minutes. So there's some questions around where we're going to install it. So you can install it locally. You can install it on a nice cloud service provider like Render, or you can install it on a VPS, which we'll go over a little bit, but that's a little bit more advanced. Today, we're going to be working with Render because we can get it all set up pretty quickly, and it's probably the most pain-free of all the options here. I'm going to go ahead and click on this button I've got on this page here, and it's going to go ahead and ask for us to set everything up. Now, because this is actually a persistent system, it is going to ask us to input in some credit card information here for payment. Now, running this on Render is going to cost about $24 to $25 a month, and that is for that persistent value that Render provides. If you went with a free plan, the database would be deleted every 30 days. So certainly you can get about as close as you want to in terms of testing, but if you want to make this a lasting database and a lasting knowledge base, you will have to go ahead and get that information put in there. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. All right, I've gone ahead and added my card information, and I'm going to go ahead and hit add card. All right, let's go ahead and name this something like Brilliant KB Live. And what's happening now, when we click that button, it's actually gone ahead and it's grabbed the repo from GitHub. So it's already ready to go. It's not wanting to know which branch we want to use. We're going to use main. It's going to be all set up here. All right. The next thing we want to do is add in our admin email. This is the first login to this knowledge base, and so we're going to want to put in something that is going to be the authoritative email address for the admin. So whatever your admin email address is, you want to go ahead and put that in there. It's going to go ahead and show you all the breakdowns here, basically the price of $24.75 per month. Because of the three services that we're creating. We're creating the database, we're creating the API, we're also creating the MCP server. You can see how that's breaking down over here. And then also it's creating a disk for the API as well, giving us about a gigabyte for 25 cents there. Certainly there are other ways to save money on this. If you were to do your VPS, you can certainly save some money on that as well. We can certainly talk about that a little bit later. But anyways, we're going to go ahead and click this deploy blueprint button. It's going to go ahead and get started cranking away on this. Now, for my testing, it's going to take it probably about 5 minutes or so to get going. And we're going to go ahead and check back in just in a moment. All right, so it says it started everything and everything is up and running. What we're going to do is we're going to actually look at the Brilliant API. This is really where we want to start looking first. Let's go ahead and jump into the log. Now, even though it did give us a thumbs up or a check mark that it had started, it is actually still being deployed at this time. Render is a pretty cool system. You can really just see all the different services happening all at one time. So anyways, we're going to let that keep going and keep cooking over there as the MCP server and the API server are loading up. And we'll double check back in on the log here in a moment. I'm going to go ahead and jump into the API side, click on log. And as soon as this is up and running, we're going to go ahead and start seeing some outputs, and we'll get started from there. All right. So the system has now gone through its iterations now. One thing I do want to point out is you're going to see potentially two different iterations. One's going to say, hey, it's ready to go, and then it's going to restart itself again and provide you another link here. So really, you need to give it about 5 minutes, and this is just the time that render takes to get everything up and running. You'll see that your URL is actually listed out here. This is the URL that's going to be your connection point to your system. You click on that button, and it's going to take you to a setup screen in your browser. And this is something that I've tried to use to make it really easy to go and make it work. So let's go ahead and say, yeah, we'll say Jeremy's test workspace. And I'm going to go ahead and click on create my admin account right here. All right, so now that that's done, this is the credentials page. This is a one-time viewable page here. It's going to give you all the different details, your API key, the actual MCP server, the OAuth ID, client ID, the client secret as well, and then also a URL to regain access if you lose access for any reason. My recommendation is I've got this download credentials text file here. Let's go ahead and just do that just now, just so we have it. There we go. Very good. So let's go ahead and set up the MCP inside of Claude now. So inside of Claude, if you're not familiar with it, if you're in the Cowork app, you've got to be on the desktop app for this. You go into Cowork, you go to Customize, you go to Connectors, and then from Connectors, we're going to go to Plus, and then Add Custom Connector here. Now we're going to call it Brilliant KB MCP. All right, so now we need to copy that URL that we just saw over here in our settings screen. So the MCP URL, go ahead and copy that, jump back over. And then in our advanced settings here, we're going to copy our client ID for security and copy our secret for security as well. We're going to go ahead and hit add. All right, so now we're ready to connect. Let's go ahead and say connect. It's going to open up a new browser tab, and now it's going to want to have us log in again. So my email address there was my admin email that we used, and then my password that I just created. It says signing in. Go ahead and open up the Claude app, and there we go. Just as easy as that to go ahead and get the MCP set up. You can see here it's connected to the Brilliant KB MCP. Now, I'm a big fan of just saying allow all for this particular item because it is interacting with a separate database that's not on your local machine. Obviously, do what you feel is comfortable for you, but in this particular case, knowing that I built this, I do feel very comfortable with it. We got our, we're deployed on render now. We've got the MCP connected now. So next thing we want to do is we actually want to download the Brilliant skill for Claude. Now this is a customized skill, and we can get that right here. If we just click on the download skill, and we're going to go ahead and make sure we save this in the right location there. Very good. Let's jump back over to Claude. Now in our skills section here, to add a skill, if you haven't already done this before, you'll go ahead and click on this little plus sign up here at the top, and then you'll say upload a skill. Now in this case, we're going to go ahead and click on this. We're going to jump over to projects. We're going to find our demo project here. And there it is. We found our new skill. It's called the Brilliant KB Assistant zip file. Go ahead and say open for that. And here it is. It's been installed. It's ready to go. It's got the skill file, and it's also got a reference for the API itself. This is how it connects to your knowledge base. So now we have both our MCP. We also have our skill set up as well. Great. So we're looking at two different paths now. We can either start with a fresh knowledge base with nothing in it, or if we already have a knowledge base already built within Obsidian and a vault, we can import that vault and get started from day one. So I'm going to go ahead and show you how to get started with importing your vault. Otherwise, you could just start having a chat with your chatbot right now through Cowork, and it could begin starting to build out things that way as well. So let's go ahead and jump into that now. So you may have seen it at the bottom down here. So not only did we download the credentials already, but you also might have seen this Import Obsidian Vault button. Now, in this particular case, you'll notice it says you need to zip or use a tar ball, which you don't really need to know what that is if you don't already know what it is. But essentially, we need to zip our vault so we can upload it to this file here. So let's go ahead and do that now. I've got a vault folder already sitting in here, and you'll notice it's just got a ton of files. It's got the standard Obsidian document. These are all different status files that I've had agents working on and building back for another project, and this is going to be perfect for this very example. So I'm going to go ahead and on a Mac, I'm going to go ahead and just right click and just say compress vault. And just as easy as that, it creates a zip file. Now on Windows, it's a little bit different, but it's very similar. So that's all we need to do there. We'll go ahead and just hit zip. And now we'll jump back over to our import vault page in the browser. Let's jump over to projects, back to demo 7. There it is. And now we've added that. Now we're gonna go ahead and just click on the upload and import button. This may take a moment. Depending on the size, if you have a smaller vault, it doesn't take that much time to do it. If it's a larger vault, it does take a little more time. All right, there we go. So it was imported, and you can see that everything came through. It did have an error with one of the files. It was saying basically that one of the date types was not accurate. So what it does is it just gives you an update, and it lets you know that that didn't go in, so you can make that modification and try to import it again if you want to, or you can just use it manually through Claude Cowork to make that happen. Also, if you are looking to undo this, there's also a rollback feature as well. So you can paste that into Cowork, and the skill understands how to manage that as well. And there's a little button down here at the bottom, which is part of that exciting new feature I want to tell you about, but can't talk to you about it yet. That's going to be at the very end of the video, so stick around for that. All right, so we're ready to jump back into Claude. Now at this point, let's go ahead and go back, and at this stage, we're ready to go. We've got our vault imported. We've got our skill installed. We've got our MCP connected. Let's go ahead and just ask Cowork, without actually even creating a project. I know in the last video I said we have this special folder called the Brilliant Anchor. We really don't even need that now. So let's go ahead and just jump in now and just say, how many projects are listed in the KB? Okay, so there we go. We've got 30 projects listed in the knowledge base with that particular type out of the 1,280 total entries. What is the next task for each of these projects? Okay, and there we go. It's starting to list out all of the different projects that are actually being listed here, and all the tasks, the upcoming tasks associated with those. Very cool. Very cool. So this is all coming from our vault that we installed or just imported just moments ago. Let's go ahead and ask it about the, let's say the token analyzer here. Can you tell me more about the status of the token analyzer project? All right, so there we go. So just more detail about that particular project. Let's leave a note, or actually have it update another task for this particular project. by asking Claude Cowork to do that. Can you make a note that we want to add some additional features to the token analyzer so we can begin analyzing over a month versus just over a 3-day span? Great. And let's go ahead and add that to our daily note as well. And that's just a little hint there at some of the features. Daily notes are going to be very, very beneficial for you and all of your teammates as they're building in their knowledge base arenas. Yeah, so more on that in the next video. We'll talk more about that, but I just want to go ahead and show you how this is being worked out with our brilliant KB assistant. Great. Can you go ahead and show me the logged entry for today's note? And now it's going to go ahead and show me what it actually put into the system as well. There we go. So it's gone ahead and added the information about what we ended up doing today. And that's available right now in the knowledge base. So if you were to disconnect or start a brand new session, this information is always going to be available to us. So let's go ahead and do that now. So I'm just going to ask what's on our daily note. Let's see if it's going to go ahead and find it in the knowledge base. And there we go. That same note is available now because it was able to reach out to the knowledge base there. All right, so that's really cool. And also your team members will be able to access this as well with their own permissions and their own governance system in place. There are a lot of thoughts on this. There's a lot of questions about how this works. We're going to talk about those things in the next video. But for now, we've already installed our knowledge base on Render. Brilliant's already installed. We've got our MCP installed. We have our skill installed now. So what's next? Well, we need to talk really quickly about what we were just talking about earlier, and that is the different prices and the different pieces here. Now, I'm going to say if you're going to be trying to install this locally, so there's no cost, that's more of a developer side of things because it does require you to go into the back end of Claude and update some config files, and that is a little bit more outside the scope of what I'm trying to do here is try to provide a solution for teams. Now, the VPS side, a lot of you are probably seeing several people out there offering or suggesting to set up a VPS for different services that you're creating with Claude Code or whatever it might be. In this particular case, Hostinger looks like it's got a very good offering for price. You're looking at roughly $8.99 a month or $9 a month, where you can host the full stack without having to have several other systems up and running. Now, this is the 24-month price, so just bear that in mind when looking at cost savings here. Now, there's other important considerations as well. This is more or less a hobby value-based VPS. So if you're looking at scaling on a very large scale, this is probably not going to be the ideal solution for you. You probably would want to look at something more like DigitalOcean, which is going to be probably about 2 or 3 times, I should say, more expensive than what you're looking at Hostinger. But this is going to give you some more robust features. But for most of you out there just getting started with a VPS, Hostinger is probably going to be your best bet. Now, I've got probably 20 plus droplets with DigitalOcean right now. So I just want to give you that heads up that I use DigitalOcean. I find it to be very solid. I don't have any sponsorship from them, but I just want to give you my feedback and my experience with them. That covers those pieces. I just wanted to touch on those really briefly. This VPS is something you can get set up pretty quickly. You've got Claude Code that can also help you install these things. But if you need some additional support on that, obviously you can always reach out to me and we can take a deeper dive on what it would look like to have a VPS. I just wanted to make you very aware of that as well because in a lot of cases, Render might not be your favorite choice, and you may want to have more control. And if that's the case, the VPS would be the way to go. Hopefully you were able to see how fast and how easy this actually is to do this. Now, if you are saying, well, why do I need to install Brilliant? Why is it so much more impactful for teams? Well, I encourage you to watch the first video on this. It goes deeply into the reasoning behind why I believe the architecture for Obsidian is just not built for teams. with Claude, and why Brilliant, being a cloud-based system with a database using Postgres, is just the right answer for the solution that we're all looking for. Now, if you're looking at this and you're saying, I want this for my team, but I don't have any way of setting it up, or I need help setting it up, give me a call. I've got my link right here in the description below. You'll see you can book a call with me and we can have a quick chat about what your goals are and how this might be able to work for you. Now, you've waited till the end for this. This is the new feature that I wanted to show you that I think you're really going to like. Let's go ahead and jump back over to that import vault page. And we'll look at this button that I've had blurred out this whole time. So what it says is, it says see it in 3D. So when we click on this, it's going to take our knowledge base and it's going to wrap it into, or it's going to visualize it in 3D. Now, I've only been looking at Obsidian vaults and their mapping view in flat view, but this turned out really cool. And you can move it around. You can see what each of the files are. There's our CC token analyzer we were looking at earlier. We can move it up and down. You can actually even see this is our daily note that's now attached to it that we just added as well. So you can see it's this live updating system. Each of these orbs here, they're all projects, and then we have our master entries here in the middle, which is connecting to a lot of different pieces. We have our project index. So this is connecting to all the projects that are in this particular vault. There's a lot of other cool shapes that are out there as well. Let me see if this is one of them. There we go. This is another vault that I imported in. It's pretty cool to see how the different shapes are there. And that's what I want to bring up for you, is I want to see what shape your knowledge bases have taken, what design that they've come up with. So what I've done is I've actually created this little button here in the upper corner. And what it allows you to do is you can orient your knowledge base however you want with simple mouse controls. And you click on this little button here and it's going to save a screenshot. Let's go ahead and open that up. And here we go. There it is. It's going to be able to give you a screenshot of what your knowledge base looks like. And what I'd love to do is actually see these. If you do end up developing one of these and saving a screenshot, save it on LinkedIn and then tag me on it so I can save it. I want to build a gallery of these 3D knowledge bases. I want to see what everyone's knowledge bases look like, because I've done several of them at this point and they look very different compared to how they're interlinked. And we're going to keep building this gallery as we build more and more of these. Well, that's all I've got for you today. In the next video, we're going to be talking about how we're going to structure this knowledge in the system so that your teams can interact with it, so that you can interact with it, so your agents can interact with it, and it can begin to compound from day one and go forward from there. A lot of thoughts, a lot of topics, a lot of questions around how permissions, how governance works in this. There are not a lot of answers out there right now, but we're trudging forward, we're charging forward, trying to find those answers. So come along with me. Next video, we'll go ahead and get that started. And if you have any trouble getting this installed, let me know below. Or if you have any comments, please let me know. I'd love to have that conversation with you. All right. I'm Jeremy Hodge. Until next time, see ya.